Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are still on board. It is nice to have an opportunity to visit. You are enjoying your expansion? Yes? You know what you want to talk about? You're ready to go? No warm-up necessary? What do you want?
Good morning, Abraham, Esther, Jerry, everyone. As a guy, it's a different experience that I've been growing in the last few years. I feel my heart opening up. Not used to crying, but it happens now.
Releasing, that is always releasing resistance, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Always, every time.
So, my question is, I do the list of positive aspects, and I've practiced unconditional love with my wife, and on a trip like this, I just feel my heart opening so much more. So my question is there a way to create the extraordinary of a trip like this in our ordinary lives to create more expansion in our daily lives? The list of positive aspects seems to work, but it's almost like getting out of the rut of, maybe not rut's a bad word, but getting out of the stream of daily life and stepping aside and looking at the stream instead of being in the stream opens up my heart more.
Well, it is helpful when you are in an environment that is especially conducive to alignment. That helps, of course. When you step out of normal routines, which sometimes promote normal thought patterns and help you to keep substantiating the beliefs that you've been carrying.
Right.
When you're in a new environment, all of that is broken loose a little bit. Also, there is a nice thing that happens when you are in an environment where most everything is a positive aspect. Because unless you're really in a bad place, you're going to feel better than you usually do. But we are very happy to begin this day with this conversation because it gets right to the heart of this new evolution that we are exploring together on this voyage. And that is that if you were to say, I'm going to go on this cruise because I know enough to know about how beautiful things will mostly be. And so these conditions will be more conducive to my alignment. That open heart feeling that you're describing is simply you being in vibrational alignment with who you really are. So sources flowing through you unfettered, unrestricted.
Even before the trip.
Just in anticipation of it.
Yes.
But still, that is a condition that is conducive to that. Now, of course, even in the book of positive aspects, that's what we are wanting for you. When you focus in a positive way, you do align with Source, who always focuses in a positive way. But there is a wonderful distinction, we talked about it the other day briefly, that when you reach this place where you are finding that unconditional sweet spot, even without these beautiful things to look at and experiences to live, then the answer to your question is, not only do more of those wonderful things come your way, as you were formulating that question, we wanted to say to you that what's happening to you, if you will allow it, is that it isn't just that you'll open and achieve a sort of permanent isn't the right word, but more consistent state of being where wonderful things are the norm for you. It's not only that. It is that. But it's not only that. It's that you will find yourself feeling as wonderful as you feel right now under all conditions. Oh, hear the difference in that? It's really nice to stand under these conditions and to feel the beauty and the wonder of your life and to know the perfection of it and to feel how worthy and blessed you are. That is such a wonderful thing. But to be able to feel that way all of the time even in the midst of maybe a problem, or maybe in the midst of something that hasn't come into full solution yet, is such a nice thing, isn't it? Is it harder to choose between happy and sad if there's something sad going on? We're just asking. Kind of is, isn't it? Is it harder to choose between clarity and confusion if there's something going on that's got you confused? Is it easier to find clarity over confusion than happy over sad? In other words, even within these emotions, are some of them just easier? Sad is an emotion that has more momentum going, doesn't it? So even within emotions, there are some emotions that are even more general. You see what we're getting at? You follow that just a little bit? We'll talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to be brief here, but we know you can be.
You said that we are teachers, that you are teachers. And I was wondering if you could clarify what you mean by you. Is that deliberate creators? People on the leading edge? And what you mean by teachers, if you could expand on teachers.
Well, what we mean when we refer to ourselves as teachers is that, first of all, we know that words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches. But the reason that we refer to ourselves as teachers is because we know the fundamentals of the way the universe works. And we express those fundamentals knowing that you will find resonance with it at some point of your being. And we also know that if you are willing to give your attention to the words that happen here in an environment like this, that with far less effort than it takes you to learn Quicken on your computer, you can find vibrational resonance with who you really are. And that's all we mean by teachers. In other words, we hold consistently to a subject, knowing that eventually, if you want to, you will find yourself in vibrational alignment with it. When you think about it, what teaching is a conveyance of, or a sharing of, or a co-creating of knowledge. And so, what true teaching, the best definition of a good teacher, is someone who is pure in their vibration, not wobbling in their vibration. Because if we were wobbling, you couldn't find your place with us. But since we are not, sometimes you wobble and don't find us, but sometimes you wobble into finding us, and sometimes you wobble and don't find us, but sometimes you wobble and find us. And because we are utterly consistent in what we know to be, it's easier for you to find your own knowledge when you rendezvous with us. That's all we mean by that.
Okay. And you've said that about, you said you, as you are teachers, you, us. Can you expand on that?
The reason that we...
Because you're clearly a teacher.
The reason that we have even depicted different intentions in your population is because you come with variety, which adds to what we consider to be perfect balance. And so all of you come with the intention of deliberate creation. All of you come. Your trajectory is about remembering who you are and alignment. But some come with more mathematical persuasion. Some come with more technological inclination. Some come with more parenting inclination. In other words, there are different intentions that you hold when you are born. And none of you are happy until you discover a bit through trial and error, even though there is no error, through just bouncing around in it. That's how you discover what your path is. And a perfect world is what you've got. But a more joyful world, which you could say could even be more perfect, is one where more people are finding their path, feeling with certainty what they were born to be. But you won't find that. The discussion that we had earlier this morning, you can't find it unless you're willing to take the time to really make sure that you're in alignment. And what is required in that, you're going to hear this easily, what is required in that is not being so ready to jump into action before you're sure you're in alignment. There are a lot of people that have not yet quite found the true trajectory of who they are. But when they do, They know it, you see. Helpful? Mm-hmm. In a sort of disturbing way? We'll talk more about that after lunch. This seems like a really good time for a segment of lunch.